B from At Craft to Z with Laura B. How are y'all doing? Did I shake the table when I scooted my chair in that quickly? I sure hope not. So, I am here to do the altered playing cards that I talked about in Friday's video, and this is take 4. Yeah, oh gosh, my band-aid. Sorry about that. My band-aid is going wild on me. That's that slice on my finger, and it's deep, and it's not bleeding or anything, but every time something pokes in it, it's like I jump. Anyway, so this is take 4. I tried last night, and I was just way too tired, and even my normal discombobulated self was way off the rails. So then, I shot this morning. And I didn't realize I hadn't cleared my phone and it didn't have enough memory. And so after 10 minutes, it shut off. So then I tried again. But the phone didn't flip around. So when I went to upload it into my editing software, even at 16 by 9, all you saw was this narrow little window like this. So that was take 3. In those 3 takes, I have made these. I think I went that way. Doesn't matter. This, 2. These are my first ever altered playing cards, so please be nice. There, and then I could go through the backs of them, and I will. So there's that one, and that one, and that one, and that one with the flat cats, which I call snarky cats. Well, I call them flat cats, but I think they're called snarky cats. And there's a button. This one's upside down because I tend to flip like this. Here, and here. All right. So, anyone for solitaire? Game of 21? Anyone want to play 21? Sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my well-used sanding sponge and just kind of lightly go over some of this. Even though I haven't made these before, I watched someone, probably a year ago or so, that said this is what you do to, be able to have things stick better. And it kind of takes off the shine. Of course, it scratches it up, but hey. Now, these, I have a regular deck of cards somewhere in this house. I know I do. But where I put it, I have no idea. I thought I knew, but, you know, I went to look for it and can't find it anywhere. So, anyway, so I have this Uno set, and I don't play cards with anyone. So I decided, well, I'll just use these. And opened up the box, and come to find out, I hadn't even taken them out of their cellophane. I hadn't even opened them. So, here we are. We are starting over again. Oh my gosh. Again. So I have some papers to use. I brought out my thing of napkins. Oh, excuse me, itchy back. I have some various other things and sundries and all that stuff to put on should we choose. And I'm just going to get started on it. So anyway, how is everybody doing? This is Saturday. And Saturday for me, it'll be Monday for you. How was your weekend? Mine so far has been, pretty good. You know what? You can complain, but why bother? Seriously, yeah. Any day that you have clean water and a roof over your head and food in your belly, it's a good day, right? And, you know, you're safe. I also have some stamping that I did the other day. I did quite a bit of stamping. But first of all, I'm just going to grab glue and stick. Instead of using stick glue on this, I'm going to go ahead and use my art glitter. So I talked to the lovely Rhoda Burks today about these because I have never done them before. And I have issues with not being able to create if I don't have the parameters in which I can create. I know, I'm weird. Anyway, so we talked about this, and I appreciated her advice greatly. Who have y'all been watching? Have you been watching anybody, you know, on YouTube? Obviously, you are on YouTube. Drop them down in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys watch. The last couple days, have been watching the lovely Carol Laws. She had a purple tab book that I ended up saving the entire playlist because I really want to try it. So those are two of the things that I talked about in the first video, I know, because I wrote them down. And I wanted to see, you know, mention them again, just, you know, for the shout out, because, well, that's what we do. We encourage one another. You get to see my horrid cutting skills. Okay. So, what happened today? So, my last video on Friday, I talked about the chicks being outside, and maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, the chicks being outside, and they weren't, didn't seem to be eating their feed. You know, because at their age, they're just coming up on 8 weeks old Monday. And they have to have specialized feed that has all the stuff that, you know, you can't get off of regular feed. You know, just like babies. And they hadn't been eating it because, you know, they're free range. I mean, they don't have the entire property to roam. But they have a significant portion, more than a lot of some backyard chickens. Especially city backyard chickens. And the only reason they're not allowed out in the yard proper is because my house is, okay, so like this is a lot. Come on now. Come on now. Give me hard. The lot is narrow, and there's nothing here. There's a deck here. And until I put the parasols up, there's nothing there. And it's like a runway, especially on this side where the drive is. So here they are over here, and if I let them free range, the eagles and hawks and everything would be just like, oh, look, it's running. Come down, swoop, and take. So where they're at, they have a big poplar that gives them some protection. So anyway, but they do have a significant portion, and so the chicks are out there eating bugs and grubs and leaves from the tree and whatever else, you know, chicks eat. So, but anyway, they weren't eating their feed. So I went out this morning and realized, you know, what's going on? They haven't been eating their feed. You know why? And it turns out I have these plastic chicken feeder waterers that you can use one or the other with, and when you unscrew the base, it depends on which side you use. And I had accidentally set it to the water side, and so the feed wasn't falling down. So I fixed it. It felt horrible. Fixed it. And then went out later, and and the chicks are still all huddled over closer to the thicket side of the fence. And I realized, well, it's because the hens, A, show a dominance, and B, new ranging, you know, because I had moved some pieces of wood and some rocks. Because this place, they call them yam, what do they call it? Yelm yams. That's it. The yelm yams for a reason. And so I had moved some, and they were, you know, getting new grubs and, you know, and displaying their dominance. So the chickens were forced out, you know, 20 feet away or so. Maybe not even that long. I can't judge distance. I'm sorry. And then, anyway, so I went out there and scratched myself up, taking the barbed wire and making an enclosure by where their makeshift coop is until they're big enough to go in the big coop, or I feel comfortable for them to go in the big coop, and kind of blocked it off from the crate. It's a large dog crate, extra large dog crate. Anyway, so I jerry-rigged up this barbed wire, chicken barbed wire, so it's really flimsy, fairly flimsy, so that they could get in, but the hens could not. Because I had it that way for their actual chicken coop, but not for any extended period. So I was hoping that would work. And I went out, you know, came back in, and I went out a little bit later, and sure enough, the hens couldn't get in. The hens grow in, the hens grow out. And they were all in there, but I went out there just before I started filming this, and they're still not eating their feed. So I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't. You know, they are getting a lot of nutrients from the ground. The hens don't go through a lot of chicken feed because of the ground. So I guess I can feel, you know, safe with that. But it's, I don't know, it just kind of bothers me. You know, I feel like I'm not doing the right thing as far as basic chicken care goes. Especially the baby chicks. And I'm here to tell you, I probably will not, probably, no, I am not drinking. I just have MS, so I have lesions in my brain, and sometimes the words just don't come out correctly. So anyway, probably, I don't remember what I was saying. See, and I know you know, so shout it out there. Oh, I just want to take a moment and say, hi, Jamie. How you doing? Everything going okay? Inside joke. So they seem to be doing a lot better. And then when I went out again, just before I started this, like I said, I go out, try to go out every hour or so. They're out in the big coop. But the hens weren't in where they're not supposed to be. So that made me feel good. But like I might have solved an issue that may or may not have been going on, right? But I don't know. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. But yeah, those, you know, they're establishing their pecking order. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you because I showed it in the last video. So I bought these t-shirts at Walmart. You know, they used to be $6 or $5, and now they're $6. Anyway, what I do is I alter them because I don't like the crew neck that comes up, you know, like up to your neck, and they're shapeless, long shapeless things. So what I did with the last ones, I turned around and did on these, but I made sure I sewed them down, the hems down a little bit better. But I have never, ever seen a shirt, let me see if it's in frame, yeah, a shirt more perfect for me. I mean, I know, right, Mitzi? Right, Keon? Right, everybody that knows me that I talk to? Is this not me or what? So, I, you know, just hemmed the bottom. Not very good because I'm not a seamstress. And then I bought this one, which is also incredibly me. I'm trying to straighten it out a little bit. So, then there's this one. So, as you see, I just cut a slit and then fold it over and make a V out of it. And it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't care. And this just cracked me up when I saw it. And then my last one, I think Mitzi said this was more her, but it's me too. Yeah, no. So, yeah, those are my t-shirts. That's what I did this morning. And that's what I showed you in my other videos that, well, did not work out in my favor. So there we are. There's my story for the day. Yeah. I love that. Hang on, let me overthink this. Because that's what I do. So I did a bunch of stamping yesterday. And I'm just trying to see. Okay, both will fit. And then I did my normal sparkly pins. Sparkly gel pins. So I had a focal point and stuff to add this to, but I'm going to do what? I have a bunch of other stuff. I really do. I do. Hang on. Oh, my lace came. My lace came. I love the crocheted lace. I like the smaller ones. Like this one is one of my favorites. I guess they don't have. And then this one. I like this one. And I got ones that had the white and the cream because I really like the cream, but I also wanted some white. So, I will get, as if I don't have enough stuff up here to choose from. There it is. I covered this with it and paper, and I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to use. So here. Oh, this is kind of pretty. These are scraps I got from the lovely hang on, it'll come to me. Stop. Just relax. Try to stop. I'm trying to force the name out, and it's not working. Rhonda Winstead. See? That's kind of how I do. I get lost in what I'm trying to say, and the more pressure I put on myself, more pressure I feel. It could be pressure I put on myself. It could be pressure someone else puts. I feel that someone else is doing. Doesn't matter. It means it's harder for me to get the words out, like right now. So I'm trying to remember where all the things that here we go. Is this the butterflies or the shrooms? These are the shrooms. Okay. That came, these came from Your Creative Studios, and these were a bunch of space washies that I bought. So, but I had put everything away because I shot the video. But because my phone did not flip the image this way, horizontally, when I hooked it up, I ended up not having any of that. It just was so wonky, it was unusable, and I was just steamed over that. And I'm sure you all know this trick on how to get, if it works, if you have enough sticky on your tape, which I probably don't because I've used that one a couple of times. Oh, for goodness sake. That one I kept trying to put on my pegboard, and I tried like 4 times. It kept bouncing, missing the peg and bouncing right back off. Oh, I was fit to be tied. There. Alright. And I get that, you know, I'm just learning, and this is probably not how other people would do. But I gotta be me, right? And I'm gonna try to find a little tiny specimen. Here we go. You can't really see what that says, and I don't think anybody's gonna get out a magnifying glass. So there's one. Forgive me, I'm having a hard time focusing again. It started just a few minutes before I logged on. I don't know why I was saying that, but before I logged on, it started. It is not double vision. It is just this inability to focus, and so I'm constantly going like this, trying to, I don't know if I'm trying to get a better view, or if I'm just feeling like a ship on the water and, well, you know, bobbing along on the bottom of the beautiful river. That was one of my favorite Disney movies, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I always liked that one. Eglantine. Yep. Did you know that one of Angela Lansbury's first roles was in Hitchcock's Gaslight? It was a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, it is an excellent movie. Excellent movie. Excellent movie. So, okay, I have that. I'm trying to see if I have a smaller stamped picture. Actually, I'm going to do this one because I have a stamp I want to put over it. And I'm going to try to whip through these I got 6 out. Oops, there. There we go. Put your pin back in your glue, doofus. I know, I shouldn't say that to myself, but I used to be really bad. And then I got better. And then the last few months I've been saying more and more stuff like that to myself, which isn't very nice. I would not like it if someone said that to my child. That's what I tell myself. Would you be upset if someone talked to your child like that, even though he's a grown adult? And I'll be like, yeah. Then why are you talking to yourself like that? I'm going to have to turn off fan because I'll turn it up because major hot flash here. Poof. It feels like it has risen 5 degrees in this room. Air conditioner still isn't working. So, you know, it's, if I'm lucky, I can get maybe an hour out of it. But again, that's if I'm really lucky. So, just waiting and waiting until next month when I can get a new one. Oh, I have that too. So I have these that I stamped onto the mulberry. I won't sing it this time. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. I sing little songs a lot, or hum. And so now, I started at one time. I asked Jamie. Hi, Jamie. I asked her one time if this was, I said, is this like mulberry, like here we go around the mulberry bush paper, or is it just something they call mulberry paper? And she said she wasn't sure, and so she sent me the link. And it is real, it's mulberry paper. But ever since I said it that one time, that's what goes through my head. Every time I look at it, that song goes through my head. And Mitzi at 307 Junk Journals, she says God Bless America a lot. And the story behind her addition to it was I had a social studies teacher my freshman or sophomore year in high school. And he said God Bless America a lot. But he added, and all the ships on the sea. So when I first started watching her, I commented that. And so she started saying it, you know, and all the ships on the sea, God bless America, and all the ships on the sea. And then she calls me her good ship, her flagship, the good ship Lollipop. To which, again, the song, you know, Shirley Temple. Good ship Lollipop, it's sweet trip. So, yeah. Now, all she has to say, it's like total word association, Pavlov's dog, all that stuff. All she has to say is, God bless America, and I'm off to the races with Shirley Temple. So it's like, really? Can I stop? Can I stop? This is some of the vellum, or actually parchment paper, that I tried out the stamps for the jelly plate on. I made these little stamps and then made this paper. That's where this came from. And I'm just gonna, again, cut around. Let's make sure I'm still recording. Yes, ma'am, I sure am. Oof. As soon as I feel cool, I will shut that off, I promise. I hope it's not too loud for y'all, but I really don't want to do take 5. Isn't that a candy bar? I think it is. So what did y'all do this weekend? And I don't know, I can't remember if it's this way in the UK, but next weekend, next 29th, Monday the 29th. So yeah, next weekend. Not this coming Monday, but the next Monday is Memorial Day here. So do y'all have plans? Do you ever do anything, you know, special? We used to go, growing up, what I like to call, and I'm not being irreverent by it, I promise, but I call it cemetery hopping. You know, we go visit relatives that had passed over. I haven't done that for a long time. It's something I enjoy. There's a little cemetery down the road from me. It's a small one, and it's on a little hill. And I take my dog. I take Izzy. And yes, I let her off leash. No, she doesn't do anything untoward or molest any of the sites. She actually, there's a lot of there's an overgrown patch of wood. I don't even know what you call it, but anyway, there's all sorts of underbrush and stuff she likes to tromp through, and I like to look at the markers. But again, it's not that big, so it didn't take very long. I'm actually going to use some of this paper from Janie B Journal and do a little bit here. Don't think, just stick. Don't think, just stick. It's very hard for me not to overthink anything. Because, you know, if you're happy and you know what, overthink, and go get yourself a shirt that says, hang on, let me overthink this. There. You know, I do call it Walmart for a reason, but sometimes Walmart can have some pretty funny t-shirts. Oops. I guess they call them ironic t-shirts. I don't know. I just think they're funny. This is from a kit Janie B Journals. Jane from Janie B Journals had asked in her group for people that wanted to do a test kit, which I've never done before. And I said, yes, I would love to. And I don't know if she did for everyone that expressed interest or just a few. That's why it looks so faint. Oh, the wrong side. But anyway, so I got sent the kit, and this is an offcut. I've never done a test kit before, so I'm really not quite sure what she's looking for. And so I've been was working on that earlier. In between talking to Candace. Let's see, where am I? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't think, just stick. I am just trying to cover the whole thing. There. Trying to place it so I covered the whole thing. And then I'm going to flip this around so it goes like that. Oops. Again, I can guarantee there... Put your pen in your glue. Oh my gosh. There are people that can do this a million times better than I can. These are the first ones I've ever done. There. Just trying to clear out that glue. So I thought, hey, I need to film. Why not? So yeah, I was asking Rhoda, you know, am I supposed to do this or do you need to do that? And she goes, no, it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Okay, if you say so. Because, you know, God forbid I don't have parameters for what I'm creating. Oh, come on now. There. Just want to straighten that out. I've got some of these. These are quite cool. But, oh goodness, I am not tired, I promise you, but excuse me. Trying very hard not to make noise with that one. Those are poppies, right? So when do you all, if you're watching from across overseas, when do you celebrate Memorial Day? I know you call it Remembrance Day. But Do you do it the same weekend we do? I used to know this answer, but I apparently have forgotten it. I want to say you do, but I've been known to be wrong a time or two. So these are, again, your creative studio thing. Ugh, it's all sticky. I can't remember what month though. Yeah, I can't see. I have several of them, and I have what's in it written on the outside, but I can't tell from here. And I'm not going to get up and go look. So. Oh, for goodness sake. Just trying to find a flutterby that I like. Just trying to find one. I got 2 eggs today. Which is, you know, okay. I like it when I get. The other day I got 4. Each of them laid, and which amazed me because I have only gotten that. That's only the 3rd time I've gotten 4 eggs since I've had them last August. So, yeah, today I only got 2. Yesterday I got 1. Okay, I need to turn that off. There, now you can hear better. Again, I apologize for that. I hate hot flashes. I used to have what I called warm flashes. You know, I knew by how everyone else looked when they were having one that mine were not the same. And now that, you know, I'm having more of them. A dear friend of mine said she never had hot flashes. We were talking about it once a few years ago. She's like, yeah, I never had hot flashes and mood swings. And I looked at her, she was driving. I'm like, shut up. We laughed. Like, shut up. You and your no hot flashes. Get out of here with that. There. These are the things I was looking at earlier, I think. Some I need to really clean out stuff. I'm just a hot mess. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. But I do have Tracy labels. Where'd I put my Tracy labels? There's these. Oh, for goodness sakes, I should have been more prepared. Here we go. I think. There are these flowers. Where'd I put my Tracy labels? Anyway, well. I mean, well, there's the big ones. Duh. I was looking for the little ones, I guess. I'll use this one. I have all these, actually, I like that one. Which one do I want more? This one. Die cuts. I made a bunch for a journal, and I've set the journal aside for right now. And I have a hard time. I'll cut a bunch of these, and then I'll, like, lose what I was doing with them, and they'll end up getting ruined because I don't put them away properly. I swear to you, I am not that tired. I apologize for the yawning. I hope you didn't hear that. It just snuck up on me. Okay. I do realize I feel like I'm breathing a little bit heavier than normal. And if you can hear that, I apologize. I did not sleep very well last night. I had too much coffee. I'm become my grandmother when I can't have coffee past a certain time because it keeps me up. And sure enough, it did. I finally fell asleep about midnight 30 last night, this morning. But I was awake every few minutes looking at that clock, you know, because I have one of the ones that shines on the ceiling. Because God forbid I'm late anywhere. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, the world will stop if I'm late. So if ever you're going about your daily business and suddenly you feel this big jolt and you're slammed to the floor, the world has stopped turning because I'm late. I swear to you, that's how it happens. I just don't do late. So anyway, I have this clock that shines the light on the ceiling. And that's how I know what time it is. Rhoda also, over at Rhoda Burke's channel, she was telling me the proper way to layer the oxide sprays on, which I'm greatly appreciative of because I have not used them often. And I can get easily confused with some of that stuff. So I'm very anxious to do that play again. Oh my gosh, I need to stop the yawning. Like I said, I'm not that tired. I'm really not. It's only 7 o'clock. But, so I was up, like I said, I was up at midnight 30 and then up at 5. Because, you know, now it's chickens out of bed, chickens out of bed, chickens out of bed. And they like to get up about 5:15 right now. And it's only going to get earlier. The more, you know, closer we get next month, I'll probably be letting them out at 4:30. Thank goodness we don't have a rooster anymore. Because, well, roosters are a no-no in the city limits. But he did have a crow collar on. You could still hear him. But he had a crow collar on. And sometimes when you get the crow collars just right, they go, "Arr, arr, arr." They sound really funny. They try to crow, and it just comes out semi-strangled. It doesn't hurt them. It doesn't, you know, interfere with their breathing. It just compresses their vocal cords a little bit so they can't really get any oomph behind it. No Jimmy D sausage chickens for me, roosters. So, it's just the hens, and boy, they're loud enough on their own, and they want to be. Okay. So, I hope you're enjoying this, and not laughing too hard at the crazy lady who doesn't know what she's doing. I'm trying. Oh my gosh, wow. How rude is that? I was talking to my friend Candace a little bit earlier. And she won't be upset with me for saying this. You know, I shouldn't use that on that. Is well known, but she lost her husband on Wednesday evening. He had cancer. And it finally took him. Anyway, I was talking to her a little bit earlier, and she was saying how tired she was, you know. And she kept yawning. And it's like suddenly I feel like, man, I caught her yawns. I know, I'm being dangerous. But you do what you gotta do. So, now that I have this more industrial look, I want to find this that has the mushrooms on it. Oh, forgotten it. That scared me. I'm so sorry, Craft-A-Lanch over here. Boy, oh boy, I'm just... Everything's falling in on me. It's like the trash compactor scene in Star Wars. The original trilogy. And when I say the original trilogy, I mean the one that started in 77, even though it was started with episode 4. It's still the original trilogy in my book. Because it started the whole thing off. Oh, I had a discussion with somebody about that. I can't remember who it was. And they were like, well, in episodes, you know, those were episodes 4, 5, and 6. And I'm like, I know, but they were the original trilogy. They came out first. And that other one, I just, yeah, I didn't care for the episodes 1 through 3. I know this is probably controversial, and I'm sorry if I'm stepping on anybody's toes, but I found Anakin Skywalker to be a moody, whiny little brat. And the only thing I liked about the whole thing was Jar Jar Binks. No, just kidding. My son was in the age where he loved Jar Jar. But it was when Anakin became Darth Vader, you know, he rises up on that thing. That was my favorite part. That was like the best part. Plus it was the end scene. So it was like, yay, it's over. But yeah, I just didn't like him. I thought he was just whiny and pouty and get over yourself kind of thing. But do each their own. Plenty of people liked it. You know, my son was of the age where the kitschy thing was cute to him. He liked that. But I also had to sit through Inspector Gadget with him. Ugh. You know, we all do for our kids, but my gosh, that was like, I found that movie just tedious. And it's the only one I ever went to with him that I just could not, absolutely could not abide it. I just was like glazed over the entire time. If I'd had a cell phone, I would have been scrolling Facebook. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, but I didn't, so I couldn't. I couldn't, and I didn't. All right. I did put some of my stuff away. So it's remembering where I put it. Where did I put it? Oh, well. Can't find it right away, you don't need it. You got enough stuff. If you got so much stuff you can't figure out where it's at, you got enough stuff. We will just put this over here though, because I can. And I think I'm going to call it a video once I'm done with this one. Because I have a feeling I didn't check the time before I started. And I keep forgetting to ever set a timer on my iPad. Whose name is Beulah. From, if you're old enough to remember, I'm not going to say the movie's name, but if you're old enough to remember, her name is Beulah Ballbricker. So, you know, have a good chuckle over that one. I do whenever I say it. Beulah and Lassie and all that stuff. I'll just use one of these. You know what? I have them. Why not? So if you remember what movie that's from, if you're of a certain age, drop it in the comments. I'd love to see how many people remember that movie. It was either late 70s, but I think it was about 1980. It was one of those ones we weren't supposed to watch. But we did anyway, because that was back in the day when cable TV was in a box. And my dad had just started real estate. And one of his clients, the house that he sold, they left it. It was Comcast, Viacom at the time, Viacom. And they had left it in the house. And so all my dad did was bring it home and hook it to the TV, and there you had your cable channels. What few they had back then. And that was the time when it was a yellow metal box, like a yellow gold, and it slid like this. It's, you know, for each number, and then it had a little notch, and you'd slide it across. And then came the one that it was black, and it had a knob on this side, and it had 3 lines. So if you wanted like your basic ABC channels and all that stuff, it would be the first line, and then you would set it to the other, and you'd go like, you know, press whatever button you needed. And we would all, like, if you pressed the buttons, if you were a child and, you know, wanted to do it, and you pressed the buttons fast enough, you could, you know, see the blurry, wavy lines of, you know, movies you were really not allowed to see, you know. But, yeah. Oh, the good old days. The good old days. But yeah, and even that one, you were supposed to have a cable subscription. Maybe by the time you got to that box, you had to have one. But that first orange gold metal box, you did not have to. That's all you needed. And, you know, he got away with it for a while, because they will eventually catch you. And then he had to stop, but yeah. So, yeah, bringing up some good memories there with the cable boxes. I would dog sit for this couple that lived down the street from me. I lived in a subdivision. Back when I was like 12, 13, somewhere around there. And they had 2 pugs, I think they were. But they had cable. And so I was allowed to kind of hang out at the house, you know, because I'm dog sitting. So I was expected to not just check on the dogs, but actually spend some time over there. And so that was the first time I ever saw Cannonball Run with Dom DeLuise and, you know, Burt Reynolds. I was gonna say, what's his name that was so popular back then that I to this day, I'm like, why was he popular? But he was. That's the point. He was popular. He was very popular back in the day. I do not understand it now. But hey, it's not everything is for me to understand. That's kind of what I tell myself. Oh, for goodness sake. I wanted to age this up, and I couldn't find a dauber fast enough. Which is a good thing. Speaking of, I'm hearing the cars in the background. This morning's video, you know, just across the street from me, kind of across the street, it's actually more across the street from my neighbor, is another street, you know, for another part of the subdivision. This actually area used to be a ranch. And so, the properties are larger, and they're older homes. They were actually cabins that were built together. So, but that is an actual subdivision, as we would call it. But about 4 houses down on that street, this house is overrun by what I call souped up cars, you know, with the loud muscle car type things, but they're not muscle cars. They're like Hondas and stuff like that they've lowered and all that good sense. It's funny because I always thought it was a fad and it would go away. These lowered vehicles. I knew back in 89, late 88, 89, when I was working at this pizza restaurant in Salem. I always thought it was just a fad and it would go away, because I knew a guy that had a Honda, and he had that thing lowered and tricked out and custom rims. We called them wheels back in the day. All of that stuff. And I just thought it was just like the most idiotic thing in the world. And I thought, oh, this is fad and it'll pass. No, not so much. It's still here to this day. So what do I know? Hopefully the lowered pants look is starting to fade though. Goodness. Alright, I'm just gonna not look anymore and stick this on here. Go this side. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what is going on outside. But she's saving us from some noise. So there's that. She doesn't have a lot of stimulation. Somebody's got like, oh, it sounds like, you know, the stuff you throw on the ground, snapdragons or whatever they're called. Here we go. 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 Here's something. No. Actually, I'm just going to peel it like this. And see which side. I'm sorry if I'm off screen. Like this. It is covering up part of that, but here. Have it cover up part of that. Only because I like maps a lot. Okay. Now, trying to think of something real fast that I might have to make a focal point on these. And I am not coming up with anything, but you know, how I could lose my child, my 30-year-old child on this desk. Seriously. It will, oh, here we go. Mushrooms is what I was looking for. I can't find my vellum or my mulberry bush ones, so I obviously put them somewhere, and I don't know where I put them. All right. There's two. Huh. I wonder if that's... Oh, Czechoslovakia? Anyway. Stop wasting time. We'll have to ask Isabel if she comes back in while I'm still recording. Y'all are still here. What she's saving us from. You know. What she found out there. She was so cute when I put the chickens out that first day. She was at the fence to the run, and she was just watching them. Like, where are you? What are you doing? Is that where you're supposed to be? That kind of thing. It was really cute. Okay. So, yeah, it sounds like those snapdragon things. That is the one thing that, I never thought I'd be that type of person that wishes that fireworks weren't allowed in the city limits. You know, I've never really had a dog before, and especially one that didn't like fireworks. And she does not cower from them. She runs out and barks and spins in all four directions, because the first year I had her, so last summer, they're going off from that direction, and these two directions. So, you know, basically north, south, east, and west. And she would run out on the deck, and I watched her, and she would bark and spin because she was trying to decide which direction she could go to protect us from the intruder. And she has bad hips. And, you know, because, you know, backyard breeders, irresponsible, and all that stuff. Anyway. So she's on pain medication, and she was limping the entire next day. And I have now become one of those people. I just absolutely loathe the days leading up to 4th of July, a couple days after 4th of July, and about 3 days around New Year's, because they're just horrible out here, and she just barks and barks, and then I have to shut the pet door. She can't go outside. And I hate that. Anyway, off my soapbox. Everybody has the right to do what they want to do. But, you know, if my dog doesn't like it, I think about the veterans. So, I didn't get very many done. And I'm hoping I didn't go on forever and ever and a day. I also hope this wasn't too boring for you. This is it. So, 1, 2, 3. Yep. So, I just did 3. Along with the ones I did earlier. Ugh. My dinner is talking back in a non-good way. It is, you know, saying very unkind things to me. So, between the yawns and the belches, I got through it. Here are the fronts, or the backs, or however you want to call it. I really like that one. And then all of my others, which I showed you. So we'll just kind of splay them out. Again, if you liked what you saw, sorry if I was all over the place, even more than normal. Apparently, I don't do very well in the end of the day. But here we are, and I will learn that for next time. But if you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not. Especially leave a comment, even if it's just a smiley face. Anything like that gets my little tiny channel noticed. I think this morning when I checked, I have 124 subscribers. So yay! Yay! 76 to go before I'm at the two aughts. Anyway, share me with your friends if you want to. Share me again. You know, play it for your dog. Your dog's friends. Maybe they like to hear just some crazy lady nattering on about nothing. Anyway, so until the next time, I bid you adieu and peace out.